Okay.
Okay, we got this all figured out.
Oh, I think so. Oh, good Lord.
We just had 20 minutes of trying to figure out why none of this stuff would work. But it's exactly the same setup that we've used for like the past 4 months.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But, then again, it's been 4 months since the Great Northern Sexcast had technical difficulties. So that's pretty damn good.
That is really good. Well, and I mean...
I'm going to go for the silver lining here because...
Yeah, well, you know what's so funny? The only thing that makes me feel better, and I've learned to not panic as much when this stuff happens, is because when I was still in, full-time radio, this would happen to... even the regular engineers. He would, have his studio that he was in charge of. He'd go home at night and come back the next day to a bug in the system. Yeah. It happened. So who knows?
Who knows what's going on?
I'm not worried.
And, I'm not running a fever 102. So, yeah, we're going to have, this one's running a little bit late. But wherever you're listening from, the state of Minnesota has had a vicious flu outbreak. Oh. It has been so bad. I mean, for the most part, when they do the vaccines and all that, and I believe in all that, so I had it. They do math. They figure out which ones they think is going to work. Mm-hmm. And this year, it sounds like the state of Minnesota had a strain come in that it is knocking people on their asses.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God. So I figured I did payroll last week with a fever of 102. And as far as I know, I fucked up one check.
That's good.
So I'm going to go. That's a win. That's a win in my book.
Mm-hmm. That is a huge win. And, well, I'm glad you're feeling better because I really felt bad when I saw, your symptoms and everything. But we're back on track and ready to talk about proclivities. And, oh, my God. Firefighters. 10 of them. 10 guys. Did you read this?
What happened is that, you had sent all the stuff to Megan, so she's been putting the stuff up. So some folks may have already seen some of this, but I had time when I'm sitting home to go through and pre-read some of this stuff. And
welcome to my world.
I am trying desperately to figure out, and I kept reading, going, was it an actual sex? I mean, was it designed to be put on the penis, or did someone decide to put something that wasn't designed to put on the penis? And I read it several times, and I could not figure that out.
I think my takeaway, because I did read that, I think this was a cock ring, but I think he just had some sort of an accident with it because
there was extra swelling, and then 2 firefighter crews.
Yeah, 10 guys
at the ER, all together trying to delicately remove. I mean, honestly, I hope they knock the guy out. Yeah. A little sedation at that point probably would have been nice. I can't even imagine how uncomfortable that would be.
Well, and I love this part. It was finally cut off with a small piece of cutting equipment. Can you imagine a poor guy sitting there seeing something, that's capable of cutting through metal right that close to, you know what?
Oh, yeah. No. I mean, we do sell... and there is available metal cock rings. And, some of them are just beautiful. Some of them are engraved and stuff like that. But you need to be very familiar with the use of cock rings before you go to metal. You want to start off with silicone or rubber or ones that are adjustable. Because there is an issue. If you're going to put something that doesn't move around your testicles around the penis. There's a lot of information out there. You can go to Google land and figure it out, but start off so you sort of understand what's going on, because this can happen. I mean, just like you put a ring on your finger, if you smash it, you might, if something happened, you can swell up to the point where you're going to take it off. And it's scary enough to have a ring cut off your finger, much less your penis or your scrotum.
Oh, indeed. And so there's Colleen with, once again, the voice of reason and a very clinical warning to you. I would like to note on the sillier side that London Fire Brigade, Colleen, is reporting a growing number of incidents involving having to cut away penis rings, which are designed to improve erections. They also recorded rescuing 27 people from handcuffs after bondage sessions went awry. And they've also released a video urging people to... Oh, my God. Did you see it?
I did not see the video, but I just remember reading about it. And I said the...
Star Wars theme.
I just went,
Did you crack up?
That tells you how many... I mean, if you're going to put something... like a lock or handcuffs or that, make sure you know where the key is. Make sure, I'm pretty sure I've mentioned this before, that long time ago when we had a store at 81 South 10th Street, a car pulls up, someone comes in, wife or girlfriend was actually in the car with a hog tie item on, and they had misplaced the key.
Oh, Jesus.
And mind you, these things come with 2 keys. They'd misplaced both keys. So they drove over hoping that the other one that was in the store used the same key. It did. We opened it up, the employee, and then went out there, locked it, brought back the key. Yeah, you've got to safety first. I mean, you want to have some fun. I understand that, but you have to understand what's going on. This is, like we said before, don't put anything in your butt that isn't designed to go in your butt.
I think, that just makes so much sense to me that no arguments here.
Yeah.
Okay.
But no, they made a video about just safe, once again, like practical use of your sex toys. Honestly, if there were 10 firefighters trying to get me out of handcuffs, well, the firefighters are cute, but I'm not going to go there. But I had firefighters at my house and my oven overheated. Ooh. And honestly, they were just adorable. Yeah.
Anyway, it sounds like a little fantasy.
Yeah, but it was just, I'm like, do I call 911? Oven, but it's hot. The oven's overheating, and who knows if it was smoldering.
What did they do, by the way?
It's they had one of those little heat guns, and they pointed it all around it to make sure that the heat was only in one section, and then I hit the circuit breaker, and in a couple of hours it did cool down. But since it locked and there was no fan, that's one of the reasons the heat stayed longer than it thought. But they have had ovens, mine just turned on by itself. Sometimes they screw up when someone's using the self-cleaning thing, and they have started fires. So they said, no, you're supposed to call. It's their job. Things are hot, and you want to make sure they're not going to catch shit on fire.
Yes.
And then, and the same thing when I smelled smoke at our old building, and it was just, it was a fluorescent light, and it was really old, and it was starting to get warm, and the dust on top was burning. And, we're on the 7th floor. I used the elevator anyway, got in with and I'm like, firefighters are just hot. You desperately don't want to go down stereotype land, but they're just hot.
Well, and I'm sorry, but I do think that there really is something to the man in a uniform deal. There is.
Oh yeah, the socialization we have of that, of just
they just they're just whatever. And it's like, the other day, we traveled over the weekend, and we were near an air base, and we in the motel that we were staying in, we came out and free breakfast, and there were all these people in uniforms, quite a few of men and women, and I looked over at a couple of them, and in my mind I was like, thank you for your service. And I'd like to thank you for your service, servicing me. No, they were cute. Hey, this is scary. Dead vagina syndrome. Ever heard of it?
I don't want to. It sounds awful.
Sounds really, truly horrible. Well, experts are warning, Ms. Colleen, that using vibrators regularly can sometimes have negative impacts, according to certain studies. Now, let's see if we can debunk this. They're saying it's the numbing of a woman's genitals after using a vibrator. And they said that this is fairly uncommon. 11% of women only have experienced it when using toys frequently. And only 3% of women say that they've noticed the symptoms regularly. And the numb effects are short term. So I'm sorry, but if you over vibrate anything, it's going to get numb.
Well, one of the things is, and Ducky Doolittle, remember, she sort of talked about this when she was on.
I don't remember.
What happens is that people use vibrators, and because it is you've got a prolonged equal pressure and a vibrational stuff, you can orgasm faster. So then you get used to faster orgasms, and then you wonder why you don't do it that way. So then when if you get used to that, or if you get used to that particular vibrator, your body's like, well, I know this feeling. Mm-hmm. So that's what's nice. That's why I think the vibrators that exist now have a whole bunch of different preset patterns and all that sort of stuff. Your body gets used to it. So if you just have one thing going on, it gets bored. And so you're trying and you're trying and you're trying. And it's the same thing. And I could see, I mean, if I had someone massaging my foot for too long, it's going to go numb, or if you're in one position or something like that. So that's what's nice to like change things up and do different things. Some people like a more steady vibration. Sometimes there's pulsating. There's an item that has a more suction power called the Satisfier. Which is a different sort of a different sort of more suction than vibration.
Okay.
It works different. It's nice to to change things up.
Okay.
So I don't think that things are getting numb. They're getting bored.
Okay. Well, and yeah, you know what? I like that explanation. The next one, I'm just like, ooh, gross. Pegasms. And there's this whole and I know I really have to stay off Reddit, but this whole thread about women talking about how waiting a long time to go to the bathroom, and then when they finally get to go, they actually orgasm. And I'm like, I can think of 15 better ways than putting myself in line for a nasty UTI.
No. Okay, speaking of someone who's had 3 surgeries so she does not pee in her pads, okay? The idea of holding it into that point is not going to happen. And there's nothing safe about that. You're supposed to eliminate. You don't want to do that. You can injure yourself by holding things in. No, there are plenty of other ways to have an orgasm. Yeah. I can't even imagine that this is even remotely medically sound.
I'm sure
not. No.
Okay, love the title of this one. Why you should have sex even if you're really, really hungover, which I can't even imagine feeling frisky with a bad hangover. Like, oh my God.
I haven't had a hangover in a very, very long time. But generally my hangovers did involve a lot of dry heaving. Because once I started, once you chucked it up, the body went, hey, that's, awful. Let's do it a lot.
Yeah.
And so I can't imagine. It must depend on what sort of hangover you're having. If you've got a headache, maybe.
Yeah, well, they were saying the release of endorphins during sex acts are like natural painkillers, and they can lessen a headache. And then the hormone boost can be beneficial after denying your body of nutrients with alcohol. And it can help you, for men, it can help restore the testosterone levels because alcohol can throw that out of balance. And so they're actually commissioning more studies on this.
So if you've got a headache hangover, go for it. I can't imagine though if you've got.
Who wants to screw somebody who's heaving?
Yeah.
No. So they're talking now. Here's another male orgasm story, but this is kind of interesting. There's a 63-year-old man apparently discovered that stimulating his prostate helped him orgasm, and so they're trying to.
Even one guy just.
Yeah,
I sell a wall of prostate toys, which is there's reason.
I know.
Okay,
but guys are finding now that if they do it right, they can do it hands free. So the whole thing is the secret to the male orgasm. If you really fancy, you do it hands free. Just saying.
Okay. Once again, I'm just guessing that's be more work. I mean, it sounds like extra work.
But it's a challenge.
Okay.
Think about all these people that zip line. It's like, hey, man, I can sit here. Look, Mom, no hands. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Why do people do what they freaking do? So glitter bombs, cucumbers, Vicks Vapo Rub, all the things that were popular to put in vaginas in 2017, a year in review. Okay.
In other words, shit that don't do.
Right, pretty much. It's kind of like the female version of Jackass.
Oh,
okay.
The one that actually, there was a lot of stuff that was weird. But I have to admit, the glitter bomb is just...
That's number one.
It absolutely blew my mind. I'm like, no.
Yeah, you just don't need to have glitter coming
Tiny
out of
little
there.
Pieces of... These are little pieces of metal or sharp plastic, and no.
There's nothing good about this.
No.
And gynecologists agree with you. Number 2 on the list was cucumbers. Now, we've heard about people in the past doing this, but this is no. Bloggers, vloggers, and alternative health therapists were trying to encourage women to cleanse their vaginas with a peeled cucumber. and it's called a vagina facial. You're supposed to insert a cold cucumber into your vagina and twist it around for about 20 minutes. I don't even know what to say.
No, because exactly what what you need is adding different, what that screams? That screams infection, yeast infection. There's no.
Yeah, and don't even get me started on all the things that are salad borne.
Yeah,
that could. I mean, do you want like E. coli in your hoo-ha?
Did you see the thing about not eating romaine lettuce right now? By the way,
No.
Czech is going through that. Yeah, there's supposed to be a lot of listeria or something. Or anyway, just they're inviting. So right now, the second week of January, I've been seeing it. Avoid romaine lettuce.
Okay, I didn't hear that. Okay, other people apparently were putting Vicks Vapo Rub up there. And supposedly as a way to boost your sex life, soothe itching, clean your intimate areas, and maintain a pleasant odor. There were even idiots suggesting it could protect you against a yeast infection, but it does not work. According to numerous gynecologists, it can cause damage and disrupt your natural what? Flora.
Oh, yeah.
Don't do it.
There are tightening gels that have is it L-arginine in it, and there are an alum, and there are also like stimulating gels that are used for outside. But yeah, menthol on the tissues of the vagina, the cervix, the labia, the mons, all the parts, because we have there's not really one word, all the parts.
Right.
No, this is not where you want Vicks Vapor Rub.
No. So in case anybody tries to sell you on it, forget it.
Honestly, I'm clenching right now.
Yeah.
There's clenching. There's yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'll just go into some Kegels because now we're clenched.
Right, we're clenched.
Oh, my
Jade
God.
Eggs. Gwyneth Paltrow started this one.
I saw that. It's like, now, mind you, there are weights that people use for Kegels and stuff like that, and weights and stuff like that. And if you've had surgery and you've had radiation or anything like that, there are lots of glass dildos, and there are some beautiful stone dildos and different things, and weighted plastic things that you can use for incontinence and for stretch. I mean, let's say you had trans surgery, you need to keep things open. There are dilators. So there are things that are made for this, but going to Goop and buying yourself a jade egg and stuffing it up your twat. Okay, I'm just being a little crude here.
Yeah,
no,
that's okay.
No. There, I suppose they're going for the same thing as like what you called like a Benoit ball and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And there are several nice things. It works for some women. They relate. Doesn't work for others. You don't know until you try.
Yeah.
But whatever this, there's no way in hell that a jade egg. No.
Well, and one of the warnings here is that they are porous, and they will have micro fractures where bacteria can get in there. And so, and once again, disrupt everything inside. So be careful with that. This last one, how about a wasp's nest? Would you ever, I get anaphylaxis, so.
I'm assuming the wasps are not in that you just talked.
No, it's actually
I just missed this one.
A ground up wasp nest. So witch doctor much? They're
this is the most asinine as half the stuff that people say is going to make your dick stronger. Rhinoceros horn and all the other crap that they're destroying animal and plant life for. Mm-hmm. Oh my God.
So just saying, those are the 5 big things that you should not have been putting up there in 2017. God knows what this year will bring. Mm-hmm. So in the post-holiday resolution phase, there's an article on burning off holiday calorie binges. Supposedly, average people consume 7,000 too many calories, and so there's this whole list which we have posted up there. So they're saying here's how much you could burn off for a 147-pound woman after the holidays. Sex, 288 calories per hour. Have you ever had sex for a solid nonstop hour? Solid? No.
No. And it just, and that seems really high because there's been several other articles we've gone over that says that, that sex is like, you don't think it's as much as as you would like it to be.
Oh God,
it's not really that much.
Not the calories or the amount of sex.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no. Girl on Top though, does burn about 207 calories in half an hour.
And you're going to get a nice, some good squats in there too.
For sure. Quad workout.
Yeah.
But I loved this list. I love lists. Okay. So, to burn a Christmas dinner at approximately 2,200 calories, you would have to have sex for 7 hours, 35 minutes straight. Christmas pudding with custard at 1,200 calories. That's 4 hours, 10 minutes. 2 mince pies at 460, an hour and a half. 3 glasses of wine, an hour and 48 minutes. Chocolates, 320 calories, an hour and 6. Kissing, by the way, is only 68 calories an hour. So you would really have to...
Well, I mean, then again, if you're kissing, you're not actually eating food. So you've got, the two things going on there.
Yeah. Yeah. So here's another story about a threesome saving a marriage, allegedly. And this whole couple, there's a whole story posted on the Great Northern Sexcast Facebook page talking about how they were really bored. The guy started getting ED, and and part of it, his wife had cheated on him, so they decided to keep it together, and now they do threesomes, and they said it's working out great. I just kind of wanted to get your take on that. What do you think?
Hey, whatever works for them, it's fine. They, they're together. They brought someone in. I mean, when I was sick last week, I started binge watching stuff, and I went back to a show that I hadn't seen for a long time. Yeah. You ever heard of Say Yes to the Dress?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. So I'm watching some show where someone comes in to buy a wedding dress, and she brought her fiance and his wife.
Oh.
And they were discussing it right there on a big old Learning Channel show here about how after the wife, the legal wife had a baby and then went into depression and then had OCD and didn't like to be touched anymore, but they still loved each other. The wife suggested that he go out and find sex someplace else, and they all ended up liking so much. So now they're in buying a wedding dress. So they're going to have another. She's going to move in with them. So they're going to be a polyamorous, a threesome couple or something.
But so it won't be a legal marriage. But it's okay. Well, I watched that show. I haven't seen any new episodes of it. Polyamory.
Yeah. But I mean, there it is on a Learning Channel Say Yes to the Dress episode. So honestly, this has become. I'm not even sure it would make news of the weird anymore. I mean, there seems to be. But I still don't understand how you do that. I am way too selfish.
Oh, I know.
But I suppose in that case, if you really don't like being touched anymore, but you still love your husband, it's her idea. Go out and do it. And this was her idea.
Well, are they? Are they? So the new wife is just going to be the one who screws him, but they're all going to live together. Is the other one completely off sex, or is she back into it now that there's a girl on scene?
I don't know. They didn't get it was it is Learning Channel. So there's only something there. But
damn, I want a follow-up episode.
I do want this one. But I'm like, did I see that right? And I'm just, it was at first when I thought, it was going to be, when I first saw the description, it was going to be someone decided that she was a lesbian and they were going through the divorce and it wasn't done yet. And she found someone else and, still had the wife and she was very happy there, but no, that was not where it was, that was the first path my brain went down.
Okay. I have to ask you. So did the people at the dress store raise an eyebrow at all?
They had a little fun with it, but not really. I said, okay, we're going to sell a dress because, that's their job. But it was one of the, they set it up with the, one of the older saleswomen that had been there a long time, the dark-haired one, so she was like, okay, then. And then she wanders over and she gets another one. She's like, those 3 over there. She was pointing it out to the other woman, that the main dress manager or something.
Right,
so they did do a little bit, but they spent maybe a moment on that, and then they just went off to find a dress. It was just, I'm like, okay, then. And they still, I haven't watched the show in years. They still all just look like white tubes.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is sort of fun though, because I'm just like, oh my God.
Yeah. No, that actually can be entertaining when you don't want to think about anything. Okay, I should have put this closer to the other story. So we had all the stuff that people were cramming in their vaginas in 2017. So let's talk about the bizarre list of items pulled from butts in 2017. Let's do that one.
Let's see if there's anything I haven't heard of before. Here we go.
Okay, here we go. So
they slipped and fell on it. That's
sure. Oh yeah. So cat food can.
What?
Yep. Shot glasses.
The glass thing. I mean, anything that could possibly break or tear in there. Oh my God! Because once it gets past the muscles, the rings around there, in the anus, it's not coming out.
Nope.
No, you're not pooping that out. It's not the right texture. No, it's stuck.
And
major.
I don't even
surgery.
want to know. I don't even want to know how they get it out.
Where do they? Yeah, when they sort of cut in. I mean, the recovery from that.
Oh God.
And then and then the infection. If you end up perforating your bowel, no, folks.
Okay, now it's not even fun anymore.
No.
Next up, a golf ball, a peanut butter jar, curtain rod, screwdriver.
Peanut butter jar.
Yep. I've heard of that one before. No, I have. I've heard of that one before.
I've heard of like round thing, but like golf ball stuff like that.
A peanut butter jar.
The shot glass, but a peanut butter jar.
I actually know an ER nurse who was on call a peanut butter jar and a curtain rod, screwdriver. How about a plastic fork? Yeah. Just really bad. Oh God, here's another guy trying to get a dildo from his anus using a letter opener. And another one used a mascara container in a plastic bag to put in his rectum.
That's awfully tiny. That's going to get lost immediately.
Yeah.
None of these things have flanges or designed to put in your ass.
Yeah. Here's another patient claiming that he put a water bottle into his rectum to reduce anxiety. I know. I can't get my head around that either.
That's that's less. That's almost dildo shaped.
And then a deodorant stuck in somebody's butt.
Once again, almost dildo shaped. It's still no flange.
Mm-hmm. And shampoo bottles, batteries, and coins. Thoughts?
Coins? It's like a slot machine?
Unclear. I have no idea. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you're in the shower but
both of us are looking up, searching, and nothing's coming.
It's sort of like I'm trying, and I've been around appropriate sexual toys for the majority of my life now.
Yep, you have.
It's that way. And even some of those I look at and say, oh, that's not happening to me. Mm-hmm. So the idea of random household objects, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I suppose. I suppose if you're going to use something as a dildo, not as an anal toy, if it's fruits or vegetables, you should at least put a condom over it. Yeah. Hold everything in. Have it be safer. I mean, if in a pinch or something like that, you're in a new relationship, you hadn't had a chance to go shopping yet and buy yourself a new dildo. Mm-hmm. But still, they're appropriate. You want to use the appropriate gear for whatever toys you're using. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm surprised, honestly, that there wasn't a Lego dildo in there or something. My God,
I know, but somebody would try it. Mm-hmm. So this has not gone into clinical trials yet. It's just an idea, but there's a rub-on contraceptive gel to block sperm that they are testing. And it's a gel that allegedly can suppress sperm levels, not all sperm. So that's not encouraging right there. For about 72 hours, they would have to use it every single day to ensure sperm remains dormant. But it's still, and you have to.
Where do you rub it on?
Their shoulders, actually. They would have to massage it into their arms and shoulders and let it absorb into the skin and reach the bloodstream. And then once absorbed, it's two synthetic hormones, testosterone and progestin, which block, the levels, the testosterone that's required to make sperm. So this hasn't even tried it.
I suppose maybe the stuff, if you put it in a pill, maybe it, destroys it or something. And, because there's a lot of testosterone creams and stuff like that that are going through there. But I wonder what the side effects are before it observes if somebody else gets it attached to it. Because, I mean, you put on Rogaine and people aren't supposed to touch that aren't using it.
Right.
I just...
Yeah, and then there's also that common warning that it doesn't protect against STIs.
Sort of like the story about like some sort of switch device in your vas deferens. I'm like,
yep, I remember.
And
that
I still tried to. And I think we were ceiling gazing at that point, trying to figure out exactly what the switch would be or the button going through there.
Yep. Yep.
I mean, I understand that it would be lovely if there was equal responsibility and / risk to birth control. Mm-hmm. But to some extent, I get why. I mean, that it's focused on women because you're dealing with one egg, not a zillion sperm.
Right.
And that's the person who actually has to go through the medical unknowns of an actual pregnancy.
Yep.
But I think it, and then how would you know whether or not, I mean, hell, you don't know whether women are actually on the pill or not. But, how would you know? How would you know whether or not the guys are using it? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So just a thought. All right. I'm going to just throw this one out there and I'm going to let you deal with magnets for menopause.
Saw this. Okay, so this is, we had some of these stories, and Megan has already put them up, and I'm flipping through yesterday, taking a little break, and just look at, answering Google reviews and doing some things, and I saw this pop up, and it was, a magnet that you clip to your underwear to help with hot flashes. Okay, all that's going to do is, the only... Is
cause a bump in your clothes.
Bump in your clothes. I mean, it's not going to work. I mean, okay, if magnets actually worked to get rid of pain, they sell a lot of that shit for muscle aches and pains and blood flow like that. If you had an MRI, most of the time to diagnose whatever is wrong with you, you have an MRI, which is a big fucking magnet. So if magnets were going to work, that would make you feel better.
Right.
And it doesn't.
Good point.
So clipping a magnet to your underwear is not going to stop hot flashes. The only thing it's going to do is make your wallet lighter and somebody else richer.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking at this headline and I'm looking at this headline and I'm like, okay, I'm going to read. And there was just, and they just spent a lot of time in the article debunking magnet theory in general.
Yep.
But taking really, it's going to mess with your panty line. I mean, because really what I want is, something clipped to my underwear, because it's like two pieces. And because we used to have a vibrator that didn't, I don't think we still had it. It's just because people didn't like it. It was sort of like you could make any pair of panties into a vibrating panty because there was a little vibrator and it was a magnet. And you had a magnet on the other side. And that's how you clipped it onto your under your underwear. But it was just like, it's this thing and it's in your underwear.
That's not a place I really want to carry things.
No, but you're not. No, I mean, honestly, I don't have hot flashes.
You don't?
No. What I do have is night sweats like you would not effing believe. Totally soak through. I've got to put down towels, change the sheets, do something. Horrible night sweats. I've never had it's the middle of the day and suddenly I'm drenched. Mm-hmm. So mine seem to, my body seems to do it when I'm sleeping. But there is no way that, magnets are going to do diddly and squat about that shit. No. I find it, but then again, they're, for folks that have them and going through there, it's quite annoying. And, the medication, basically it's hormone replacement therapy to try and get rid of it. And then that can be dangerous to some women with clots and a whole bunch of other stuff. I'm not taking it.
Yeah.
I've looked at the stuff. I've looked at my body. I've looked at that, and I'm like, no, for me, I don't think it's worth it. For other women, it might be. Mm-hmm. So I can see why you would, desperately want to have something that worked.
Oh, yeah.
But this shit, no. Magnet therapy doesn't, you got a sore elbow, not working there. No, either. Mm-hmm.
So this is interesting. I'm going to do, I just changed my mind. We're going to talk about sex clubs first. I'm going to save this other one for last.
Okay.
So, I love the title, The Latex Thing. Empowered women discuss why they can't get enough of fetish clubs.
Okay.
This is a good story. It's posted up on the Great Northern Sexcast Facebook page. But they talked to a couple women that were members of a fetish club called Killing Kittens. And 72%.
What the fuck?
Killing Kittens.
Oh, Jesus.
Kind of funny.
Oh.
But 72% of its 100,000 members are women. And they organized sex parties for, quote, the world's sexual elite. Colleen is Googling this.
No, I'm like, oh,
yeah. So, there's 3 stories. If you have any curiosity about this, it's kind of cool to hear other people's stories. So I would say go ahead and check it out. But, one person just said it was cool. She felt safe. She was a little nervous, but everybody was, friendly, welcoming, etc. because they want to fuck you, just so you know. Then, there's one about a mother, and then another woman who's, pretty conservative, 9 to 5 or during the day, and why she decided to go. Are you looking up killing kittens?
Yeah. Well, what I can see about that is that the one thing that caught my ear when you were going through that was the fact that if you're in a club, everyone is vetted. Not that it's perfect. There's no such thing as perfect, but you know what you're getting into, and it's a safe place.
Yeah.
I always considered. Like nowadays, I'm not sure that a lot of kids and other people have a safe. Excuse me. Have a safe place to be stupid. But here, when it comes to drinking and stuff like that, because laws have changed, but when it comes to sex and you want to try something, you just don't go out there and say, I want to try bondage to your Tinder date. No. That's not safe. Mm-mm. But you go here to a well-known thing that's going through there, and you think people have been vetted and folks are there, and you probably need references. There's a whole bunch of different stuff. Mm-hmm. It's a safe place to have your fetish. Yeah. And I think that's going through there, and with the internet and with different things going on, you can find things that you just couldn't find before.
Yep.
Not that folks didn't want to do it, not that folks weren't doing it. It's just
I know a couple, we really don't hang out anymore, and this is not the reason why, but they travel over the winter. They're Minnesotans every year, and I can't ever recall if it was Brazil or Argentina, but they became frequenters of a sex club down there, mm-hmm. which doesn't sound like this at all. It's more like you come in, and as long as you're old enough and everything else, whatever happens kind of thing. And they never witnessed anything like non-consensual or violent, but everything was so random. I was just terrified hearing these stories. Like, why would you do that? Like, you don't know this person. And you know what I mean? It was just, it was not.
No, here in town, there's a website, and it's called FetLife. Mm-hmm. And Fantasy Gifts joined it, and I go on there a couple times a year, and I post a couple things, but it definitely is not really a place for businesses to be, but it is a place for people to find things that they're interested in, and there's forums and different groups and different things you can go in there. I haven't, like I said, it didn't do what I needed for business, and so I haven't been on there a lot. But and then just had to change the rules a little bit because they're having a hard time getting someone to process credit cards because people will put up graphic pictures. But you want to know what you're getting into. But it still exists, and it's there. And it's a place where you can find folks that are into what you do. You probably join discussion groups and stuff like that. And there are last I looked, there was moderation thing, and you could do so know what you're getting into. So because if you're on there, there's a particular kink you're looking for, mm-hmm. versus just random dating services.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. But I think that there is merit to some of these, especially like you said, for the reasons mm-hmm. that they're vetted, and I think it just ups your chances of having the experience that you want versus something that you didn't expect. Mm-hmm. So I think that's awesome. Finally today, this is an interesting one. So there's kind of a Randy music festival in New Zealand, the Rhythm and Vines, and everybody was running around paying to have glitter boobs and glitter balls. So it's like glitter paint. Okay. Mm-hmm. So you say a woman is running around with her glitter boobs, it probably looks like she has a bikini top on, sort of, except for she's free flying.
Yeah. There's folks women in New York City that get painted up and pose topless because they're covered.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the guys were having their junk done. So
I suppose they shaved or waxed before that, I guess.
Oh God, I would hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this girl got her glitter boobs grabbed, and she was upset and saying, "Hey, I did not deserve to be grabbed regardless of what I'm wearing." So now there's this big debate, and the guys are complaining because nobody got their junk grabbed and they wanted it grabbed versus the girl who didn't want her boobs grabbed. So you can read about the whole fight.
Okay, that would be like getting my face painted and someone coming up and squeezing my cheek. You're messing with the art.
Okay, there's that.
I'm sorry, you're messing. And you don't just randomly I don't care. You don't grab people.
No.
You just do not grab people.
No.
I mean, even if it was someone even if it was my best friend and I grabbed her boobs in the past, I'm not grabbing the artwork that she had paid to put on her body.
Every time I think I know what you're going to say.
No, I mean, really, honestly, you don't. I mean, then again, I don't care whether she was walking around without glitter on her boobs or whether she had a top on.
Boobs.
Or you don't grab the boobs. And guys, no one's going around and grab your junk because that's rude. You ask. Believe me, there's plenty of folks that are going to want to, just ask politely. You'll find someone. I've said this before.
You will say yes.
People will say
junk.
yes. No, I have someone I know for years in his teens and 20s, and he would ask everyone if they wanted to have sex with him, and eventually someone would say yes, and he was always polite about it. He knew exactly what they wanted. There's no point. If someone said no, he moved on to someone else. He just asked.
It's very
and
honest.
It was fine. He was very honest, and it was spectacular. And it was just,
Well, the moral of today's show, please and thank you.
Yeah.
Please and thank you.
Yeah.